Take two, this time with a little more feeling. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you guys are watching this. Welcome to episode 4 plus 4, which is 8. Welcome to episode
21.
8 of the Nxt Up Fantasy Show. My name is Will, and introducing myself as well as the others of the crew is my man that is always looking at the TV on Thursday nights because we are recording this on a Thursday, Mr. Manny Fresh. How's it going?
What's up, everyone? As no one will know, this is like our take 30th because Will keeps screwing up. We'll have a boring game on right now. It's 6-9 in the fourth quarter. Probably the worst Thursday night football game in the world, huh?
It is. We've seen worse, probably. I don't know, but definitely not this year.
The 49ers versus the Bears are pretty bad.
Wait, what was that?
The 49ers versus the Bears.
That wasn't a Monday night, or that wasn't a Thursday night game.
It was just a horrible game to watch.
It's just a game? Well, it's going to be worse because next week it's the Commanders and the Bears. So, Mike Thesis, how's it going?
It's going good, guys. Glad to be here. It's bad right now. So I'm not even watching the game, as you can see. I mean, there's nothing behind me. I'm just here chilling. I'm ready to talk about fantasy sports with my guys. But I don't know, man. I have this 2-quarterback league, and I got Russell Wilson in it. So I'm probably definitely losing this week.
We are going to keep the faith and hoping that everyone else that you drafted can step up to the plate. And from there, have a good rest of the week. I mean, Russ, can you just throw one touchdown? Wait, is the game over? Go back. Is the game over?
I don't know. It was over in the first quarter.
Like it was over the first quarter.
For real.
I just saw him with the hat on, so I'm just thinking, is the game over?
Wilson's on the field, so hopefully you get a touch. Actually, they're up. They're just gonna kneel it.
They're gonna kneel it. Give it to.
Mike no. There's 3 minutes left on mine.
Okay, so there's somewhat time, so they'll probably still run it here and there. But we might as well jump into it with the news and notes. And technically, it does have to do with the very first game, or with this game that we're talking about right now. And that's unfortunately one person that we really expected to or wanted to do big this year, Javonte Williams. Our man's is done for the year. And from there, the only people that are left as far as the running backs is Mike Boone. And I believe, Manny, you said Latavius Murray ended up signing he was last week, which is funny. Last week he was in New Orleans. Now this week, all of a sudden he's with Denver, feeling or believing that he has a much better shot of having some kind of glory or whatnot. So I guess the question from here, as we see it down here, is this backfield? Is there anyone that you can trust on it, whether it be Mike Boone, whether it be Latavius Murray, whether it be anybody else? Let's go with Mike first up. What do you have?
Yeah, honestly, man, I would probably try to stay away from this backfield at this point. But with Javonte Williams being done for the year, unfortunately, you have options, right? So they have Melvin Gordon, who has been serviceable in the past, but unfortunately this year, leads the league in fumbles. So I just don't know how reliable he's going to end up being for you. I haven't seen enough from Mike Boone to really give me an opinion on the guy. He's okay, but I don't really think he's an elite kind of player or is going to really save you in fantasy football. So if anything, I think the most intriguing option in the backfield is Latavius Murray. I know Mandy had spoken about Latavius Murray. So yeah, Latavius Murray is probably the guy I would try to go with, but in general, I would probably try to stay away from this backfield. The offense is problematic. They don't really be able to do much. Excuse me. So yeah, man, I don't know. Unfortunately, Javonte's hurt, so I don't like the other options in the backfield very much at this point.
Yeah, and it's kind of hard to pretty much trust anybody in the backfield right now, especially with a couple of reasons. One, it could be due to inexperience. Two, it could be because of them not knowing the playbook that well. And that's pretty much what you got in both Mike Boone and Latavius Murray. But at least with Mike Boone, the only reason why I'm a little bit higher on Mike Boone is because of the fact that He was given the exclusive backup role to Melvin Gordon. And with that being said, like if Gordon continues to fumble the way that he does, then there's a great chance that Mike Boone could be stepping up and being the next guy. Manny, what are your thoughts about Javonte being done for the year in this backfield?
It sucks. I was actually excited to see Javonte like improve for this year. Melvin Gordon, I'll give you some stats. It has 12 rushing yards or 12 attempts for 45 yards. Boone, 7 rushing for 38. But Boone seems to be the one that they're targeting. Yeah, I guess it's a mix. I shouldn't say targeting because Boone has 3 receptions for 47 yards and Melvin Gordon has 2 for 25. So I could see that they're trying to figure out what they want to do with these running backs. They signed Latavius Murray they stole him from the Saints. So they must, like Mike said, and I was saying, like, I'm interested in Latavius Murray because if they showed interest in like going to a different team, practice team, and taking a guy, there has to be some type of want for him, you know. So I'm a little nervous about Boone being a 3-down back. I don't think he ever will be. He's 5'10", like 200 pounds. He's very small for a running back. Melvin Gordon, Mr. Butterfingers, maybe get replaced by Latavius Murray. So I could see it ending up being Latavius Murray and Gordon back to his original role with Javonte, and maybe Latavius stepping in for Javonte Williams. So that's my goal because I got him in every league.
So pretty much you're rooting for Latavius Murray because of the fact that you got a bunch of them in there.
Yep, and Russell just threw a pick in the end zone.
It's going to go to overtime. That's going to be the prediction.
No, Matt Ryan can't get down the field
because is there like 2 minutes left right now?
Yeah, Matt Ryan can't get down the field.
Terrible.
So bad.
Yeah.
So bad.
These two dudes look stud like 7 years ago.
These two dudes look washed. They look washed up, both of them, and it's sad. I really thought Russell had something left in the tank, but we're not on that right now. It's just unfortunate.
He got his money, and then from there he just like said, eh. So he got that extension already. So I mean, good for him for getting the bag. Shout out. So next up we have probably what you guys are going to talk 50 minutes about. Dak is back. Maybe, probably. Don't know. According to your guys' boy Jerry Jones, Manny's boy Jerry Jones, Dak is pretty much out and about, being able to exercise, do warm-ups, and do drills and all this other stuff. However, when it comes to him actually gripping the football and things like that, he's not 100% ready yet. Which leaves something similar that we talked about earlier this year. But this case being the Zach Wilson, Joe Flacco situation. One of the questions I remember asking is, if Joe Flacco does good, are we going to see Zach Wilson go back as a starting quarterback, or do we see Joe Flacco stay there? So this is kind of a similar situation. Cooper Rush is doing his thing, and he's exactly how I saw him as a time managing type of quarterback. And he's able to pretty much handle his own. So with them being, 3-1 right now? With them being 3-1 right now, this is great that I'm asking Cowboy fans. I'm gonna give this to Manny first. Should Dallas keep Cooper Rush as the starting quarterback even if Dak is back?
100% no. And the reason why is Cooper is a good backup. He played the Bengals, which the Bengals didn't look great. Their offensive line was horrible. The defense kept them in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Played the Giants. Defense kept them in the game. Played the Commanders. Another defensive performance. Yes, Cooper Rush is winning. He's getting the job done. But it all comes down to this defense that's top 5 in the league right now. I think they're leading in sacks. So it's not all Cooper Rush. Dak is a different animal when he's healthy. But the good thing is we have the defense that can allow Dak to kind of take his time and get fully healthy before coming back.
That's actually
this is the first game. This is actually the first game that Cowboys are like the underdogs since for Cooper Rush. They're -5. I don't know. I guess I don't know. I don't remember if the Bengals if they were underdogs, but minus like 5.5 to the Rams, and the Rams are a good team. If we come out and he performs really well, then I guess there's going to be more talks. But like I said, Dak is our guy.
I kind of see. I can actually. I honestly, I can see Dallas winning. If you want me to be honest, if we're talking about the game in general, like the Rams really lost a huge step compared to last year. Their defense is not the same, and the offense is not clicking the way that it is. The running game, which is something that I talked about before, there is no running game. The running game doesn't really exist for the Rams, and the only one that they can really rely on is Cooper Kupp, and surprisingly, a Tyler Higbee, like a surging Tyler Higbee. So if you guys don't have him yet, put him on your bench. So Mike, your thoughts too about should Dak be the guy, or should you keep Cooper Rush until he falters?
Yeah, I mean, there's really nothing much for me to say, but I'm going to say it anyway. I totally agree with Manny. No, Cooper's not the answer long term, but he should be commended for what he's been able to do while he's been the starter of the team. He's been really good as far as managing the game, relying on the defense. Luckily, we have a top tier defense this year, so he really doesn't have to do a lot. And then it also helps that he's having people come back. I mean, Gallup came back last week. CD Lamb has been playing better the last couple of weeks. Dalton Schultz really has kind of been forgotten. So I kind of wish that wasn't the case, because I have him in a couple leagues and he seems to have a connection with Dak that he just doesn't have with Cooper. But no, I would probably definitely, as the Cowboys are going to do, go with Cooper Rush, ride the hot hand, see what we can do against LA. I agree with you, Will. I'm picking the Cowboys to actually win this game. I just feel like, LA's O-line is decimated, and I feel like we can really get after Matt Stafford. We all know Stafford's, he's the kind of dude who might give up a couple touchdowns or give up a couple interceptions. I think Trayvon Diggs will be right there to maybe grab one, or maybe someone else in the secondary. So we'll see what happens with that. But I don't want to. Here's the thing. I know how a lot of Cowboy fans, not us, but I know how a lot of Cowboy fans are. Like they're going to eat this controversy up. They're waiting. A lot of Cowboy fans, I hate to say it, and I don't know why, but just me being on, social media and stuff like that, I've seen a lot of people seem like they're like waiting for like Dak to fail. Like they're that this brings them joy. It's weird, right? Like, because for me personally, like I don't care who the quarterback is. Honestly, I really, really don't. Like I just want the person to win games. But I mean, Dak Prescott is obviously more talented than Cooper Rush. So I feel like I wouldn't bring Dak back against Philly unless Cooper looks bad against LA. If Cooper wins the LA game in a comfortable fashion, I would even let him go against Philly just to make sure that Dak's completely healed, and also to quell any kind of controversy, because if they bring Dak back against Philly, who looks unstoppable right now, right? People are going to be saying, oh, well, they should have stuck with Cooper Rush. I wouldn't want to throw him into that fire in his first game back. I just think that would be kind of unfair.
And then after the Eagles, they play the Lions and Bears, so that would be perfect for Dak.
Yeah, perfect time to bring him back, right? So I would wait till those games to bring him back, unless Cooper looks bad in LA, But
that's kind of how I was looking at it. I was looking at it like I saw it in two ways. One, Cooper Rush is doing a fantastic job. He's doing exactly what he was practically trained to do, and that's pretty much be the backup and hold down the fort while Dak Prescott is away. And the second thing that I thought about was, let's not rush, pun intended. Let's not rush Dak as far as coming back into the fold, because like we've seen what, unfortunately, I hate to use this as an example, but we've seen what happened with Tua last week when they try to rush him into getting back and things like that, and things could get possibly worse for anybody. So if Dak isn't 100% where he needs to be, then let him stay. And I mean, hell, like both well, actually not as much as Mike, but Manny the hater over here just wouldn't stop talking about how down the Cowboys were going to be because of no Dak. But
sad.
now that they're in a 3-1 situation, top of the NFC East, or excuse me, second to NFC in the NFC East, you're okay. So like you're in a good spot right now. So if anything, I would say, yeah, by all means, please take your time as far as getting the Prescott back in the fold.
And I'm not a hater. I'm more of a realist. Like, I mean, Mike, being a Cowboys fan, there's a lot of hype. Like we still have our how I see it. We played the Giants, Commanders, and a beaten up Bengals. We still haven't played the top teams. Like if Cooper Rush played like the Bills right now, there's people are going to be off. We need Dak. You know what I mean? It's just the matchups. The schedule was easy for him, and that's kind of what I was getting at. Like we are lucky that we have the schedule that we have while Dak is out.
Right.
Most definitely. No, you weren't wrong at all. I don't feel. Like I said, I just know how the Cowboys are, and you do too. I know that it was almost like I said in that video that we shot when Dak had gotten hurt, that I kind of just knew it would be like they would call better plays just because now they can't rely on Superman to save them. I just knew they would do that. And it's unfortunate because they should be playing like this all the time. But we're the kind of team that we play better when our backs are up against the wall. I don't know why. It frustrates me. That's why we lose every single playoff game, because our backs are on the wall. We go in there feeling good, and we end up getting beat. But when we're counted out and we're doubted, they play better. The coaches coach better. It's weird. We're a weird organization. So it doesn't surprise me, but I figured it would happen.
I would also say it's probably because of with Dak being on the field, the Cowboys. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's like this with any team, that you're more predictable as far as what to expect, as far as play calling, things like that. With Cooper Rush, nobody knows what the hell's going to happen. So that and that's okay. I mean, that's how it is in general with any backup, whether it be a backup quarterback, even in a different sport, backup players in the NBA. Because remember how back in the day, probably 2 years ago, when they had a good amount of one team just being out because of COVID, and then from there was a brand new there's a brand new starting lineup and things like that. And why not? We're gonna take a little pause here just to see this kick, since Manny wants to present it to us.
8 seconds. And
8 seconds.
Colts are gonna tie the game.
Who is their kicker right now?
The Colts?
Yeah.
I don't know. Blankenship's gone, right? So
Blankenship they got rid of, which kind of sucks, because he was good.
That's my goat.
Adam Vinatieri's been gone for 7 years, it feels like. Saving Brady as far as getting so many Super Bowls, but I'm not going to get into that right now.
That off-white hat's pretty sick.
Who was that?
Is it McCollum or something? I don't know. I can't.
Yeah, it looks like it.
All right, well, let's see what he's about.
Just send it to overtime.
Yep, overtime.
OT.
Yeah, send it to overtime. Give me some kind of chance with some Russ and Sutton love. Jeez.
More of this horrible game. It has to keep continuing.
Because that's what we need right now.
Yeah.
7 more or 10, 15 more minutes. So let's get out of that conversation and get into probably an interesting one. It's something that we talked about last, probably during one of the first episodes. Pretty much the matchup between Mitch Trubisky and Kenny Pickett as far as quarterback battles. So after just disappointment after disappointment after disappointment, so we finally got Mitch Trubisky out. We got Pickett finally in, and a lot of the buzz back during training camp was how good George Pickens is. So now, and that was mainly because of the fact that Pickett, this is going to be really awkward and confusing to keep saying Pickens. But with Pickett being in as the quarterback now, George Pickens, I'm just going to go first names. So George is pretty much saying, yeah, I'm getting frustrated. I'm not getting the attention that I need. Show me the love. So Kenny is in now. So does that give Pickens, now that he's in the wide receiver, now does that give him like the opportunity? Y'all better stop. Does that give George Pickens the availability to be fantasy relevant? And this is something I've been waiting for because of the how well he did during training camp and during the preseason games. So Laffy Manny over here, I'm gonna give it to you first. Your thoughts?
My thoughts are: do not get anyone on the Steelers. Trade away Najee Harris right now. Listen to these next four games: Bills, a rookie quarterback going to the Bills, Buffalo, and playing.
Okay.
It's not going to turn out well. Buccaneers,
Okay.
Dolphins,
Alrighty.
Eagles. Get rid of all your Steelers right now, if you can, as soon as possible. I think Pickens is a great pickup if you're in Dynasty. Same with Kenny Pickett. But if you're trying to win this year, you're not going to do well with these players.
So you don't believe that Pickett is one thing, but George Pickens, you don't feel any kind of love for at all.
Nope. I don't have love for any of the Steelers.
That's fair. Mike, your thoughts?
He's a rookie, man. He threw 3 interceptions last week, right? So it's going to be a learning curve. Their offensive line isn't adequate. It's not good enough to really protect them. So if there's any player I would like, it's funny because we're not really talking about that guy, but it wouldn't be Pickens. But I do think Pickens is probably a better play than Claypool, only because I think they're going to be looking to throw quick, short routes, and I think Pickens is a little better, kind of in the mid game or kind of in the short passing game than Claypool, just due to his physicality. But if anybody, I'd probably want Freiermuth, the tight end. I feel like he'll probably be used as safety gouge. I think that he's kind of the person I would want from the receiving core if I had to pick one. But like Manny said, and I probably would try to stay away from any of the Steelers right now at this point. I just think that they're an offense that is evolving, and I feel like they'll eventually be there, but not right now.
Yeah, and it's kind of a shame of what that schedule does look like in the next couple of games. But yeah, Pat Freiermuth was always a pretty decent tight end. He was like that last year too. And again, if like he shouldn't be on the waiver wire, but if he is, pick him up like yesterday. I can honestly see Pickens being, as weird as it sounds, I could kind of see him being like the number one target for Pittsburgh. And it's kind of a combination of kind of similar to Cooper Rush and Noah Brown. Like if you want to do some kind of comparison, they both pretty much worked up together during training camp and things like that. So they have a personal chemistry. And if that chemistry is shown, then there's a likely chance that like defenders are going to be more focused on Najee. They're going to be more focused on Claypool, more focused on who's the third one? Deontay Johnson, and even Freiermuth. So there is the possibility that Pickens could get an open look or two in the next couple of weeks, and who knows? Maybe he'll be a guy that we talk about next week. Like, damn, he did good. I don't know. That's probably not how we're going to say it, but yeah. So moving. So that's not how I'm going to say it, Manny.
Nope, not at all. You're going to
not at all.
Wow, this Steelers team's horrible.
But if they do good and they win, I'm going to say that next week. So there you go. All right. So moving on. So I guess you could say the main story for this week is going to be just a combination of thoughts and strategies for a combination of trade and bye week moves. Because right now, with us being in the 5th game of the year, the following week is going to be the first week of bye weeks. And as far as who's going to be on the bye weeks for week 6, I believe it's the Raiders, It's Detroit, it's the Titans, and it's the Texans. Now, majority of these teams, a lot of people have players for. So, especially like with Tennessee, you got Derrick Henry. Raiders, you have Josh Jacobs, which I'll be honest, I'm surprised that he's doing kind of good this year. And Devontae Adams, and of course with Detroit, Amon-Ra St. Brown, DeAndre Swift. So, I guess one of the questions is one of the questions that I actually had when it came to this is there anyone that you're looking to trade for during this season that may not be doing so well now, but it's one of those players that you know is going to do pretty solid for the rest of the year. I'm gonna go with Manny first.
So in general, I'm gonna get specific players, but in general, Cream, like I said last week, Cream rises to the top. A lot of these first round running backs are doing horrible. Jonathan Taylor, Derrick Henry before last week, Delvin Cook, Alvin Kamara, but the cream rises to the top. Try to go get these guys right now. Austin, you see what happened with Austin Eckler before I said that. Then he went out and got 3 touchdowns. Like at the end of the year, these guys will be on top. They're having a rough time right now. I think the defenses are like playing more zone on these and these offenses have to adapt to a majority of these defenses. But here's some players that I'm kind of targeting. I actually got a trade this week. But here's some I'm kind of targeting. Besides those running backs, like Joe Mixon would be who I'm going for. Alvin Kamara, Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase has been very inconsistent the last couple weeks. I think he's only had one game that was actually decent.
Right.
It looks like the Bengals are starting to click. They're all like their O-line was new. Yes, they were supposed to bring in people to help with that O-line, but now since you have a new unit, it takes a while to kind of like mesh. So Joe Mixon is one. James Conner, actually, with DeAndre Hopkins coming back, people aren't going to be. You got to realize right now they're not scared of this run game or the passing game without DeAndre Hopkins. When DeAndre Hopkins, that puts another factor in the offense, which I think James Conner will kind of like benefit for that.
Okay.
AJ Dillon, because he's getting at least 18 attempts a game, which is crazy for a backup running back, right? And he's been producing. He just hasn't had that huge game that you want. So AJ Dillon, James Conner, Joe Mixon, Jamar Chase. I don't want to save some for Mike, so I guess I'll let you.
If you don't mind.
Yeah, Mike, what you got?
Should I put a name on the screen? No, I'm sorry. And do you want to take yourself off of mute?
Thank you. At least I didn't start the show that way. Can we get the countdown to go back?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I see you. All right. I see you.
I have kids here, man. I have an excuse. You don't. But no. I was gonna say he actually took one of my guys, but that's okay.
Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. I'm gonna still talk about him. I just agree with you now, so we're good. One of my guys, my first number one target, if I could get him in a trade, would be Joe Mixon. For a lot of the same reasons that you kind of talked about. And I mean, volume is like key in fantasy football, right? And the guy gets a ton of volume. I do think like P. Ryan steals touchdowns for him from time to time. But I mean, beyond that, I mean, I think he's like tied with Saquon Barkley for like the most touches in the NFL by a running back. So I would definitely go with Joe Mixon if I could get him. Another player who I would target if I don't have him and if a owner is willing to get rid of him, which might be a little less likely after the week he had last week, but would be Dameon Pierce. I'd said in a couple of weeks ago that I've not to give up on him, and he actually produced last week. But the thing that had me even more interested in him than the 75-yard touchdown run is the fact that Davis Mills targeted him like 5 or 6 times. I think that's interesting. If you're in a PPR league, that's really, really good. He can help you out. Go get him if you're willing to. If you can find an owner who, maybe you can work out a trade to where you can get rid of maybe, say, a Kyle Pitts and get Dameon Pierce. I think that might work for you. Another guy I would say to go out and get, but you probably might have to give up something for him would be Chris Olave, right, Will? Or Olave, something like
No
that.
doubt.
Chris Olave. Go out and get him if you can, because he's about to explode. Pretty soon, I feel like he's going to be a wide receiver 1. And if you can get a hold of him now, right before that explosion, he's been doing better as the season's been going on, but he's still lacking that week where he's had like multiple touchdowns and 100-yard game combined, both of those. So if you can maybe go ahead and get Chris Olave before the explosion starts and he will no longer be available, I would say go ahead and grab him as well.
No doubt. And
before Will starts, I want to say 2 more players. Brandon Cooks, because he's getting a lot of attempts. I'm trying to get his players, so he has to think on the thing. And James Robinson, because a lot of people still have hype on Travis Etienne, and James Robinson's actually the number 1 running back in Jacksonville. So there you go, Will. What else you got?
Well, joke's on you, because I was not going to pick neither of those good players.
Good job.
So,
but those are good candidates as well. Brandon Cooks is getting a lot of attempts. He's just not getting the touchdowns and the yardage.
But one of them, Mike actually mentioned, and that's going to be Dameon Pierce. With Dameon Pierce, he's actually doing one thing that's very rare right now in the NFL right now, and that's being a running back that gets 100% of the rushing carries or of the rushing attempts. Excuse me. You don't see that every day on any of the players that you see nowadays. Like, everyone is more so focused on like catching a break or like getting or catching their breath. Excuse me, taking like a small break for like a couple of downs or whatnot. Even though technically he's still doing that, but no one's still rushing. He's the only person that's rushing on that team. Yes, Rex Burkhead is there, but he actually does more so pass catching. And even so, once again, Davis Melo is actually giving him a couple of targets a game right now. And with that, like, the sky's a little bit of the limit with him right now. And this is a much better schedule that he's on as far as trying to pretty much maximize his potential. So Dameon Pierce, if you guys can get him in some kind of trade, then by all means go for it. I will admit that, yeah, Manny did say one of my players, and that's going to be Jamar Chase. Then again, you said like everybody's player. I'm just saying, you said like 50 players. Jeez, give us a break.
Were they wrong?
I'll have to look back at the tape and I'll answer that question. But as far as Jamar Chase, like, there's gonna be an explosion for him, and I think that's mainly because like everyone is kind of downing him as far as where his status is right now, and even Manny again ended up saying that he wants T. Higgins to be the guy more than Jamar Chase, or he'll likely be the guy more than Jamar Chase. And if that's the case, then right now Jamar has to catch up a little bit. And I think that now that the Bengals are starting to get a small little groove, kind of similar to what they did last year, once they have a little groove going, then Jamar is going to be part of the improvement, pretty much. And the third person, and I think that I'm honestly going to give him benefit of the doubt just because of the situation. I have to give Kyle Pitts one more chance.
Jesus.
I don't want to. I really don't. But I think a lot of people are getting burned right now because of where they actually took him, because they took him at like late 3rd round, early 4th round. And I think because of that capital, people are getting a little bit more upset as far as the fact that he's not exactly who they wanted him to be. So that being said, like, especially if they could have got someone like, I don't know, like a George Kittle, if they were to get tight end around that same round or whatnot. But yeah, I feel that Kyle Pitts still has catching up to do. And like last year, he was decent. He was okay. The only problem that I'm actually having here right now is whether or not if Marcus Mariota is going to be willing and able to pass the ball to him to the point where it's like, okay, he's relevant. I mean, even we're talking crap about Matt Ryan right now as far as how slow he is and things like that, but at least Matt Ryan gave Kyle Pitts the ball. So I want to say, I mean, because of the fact of I mean, just with Manny's reaction as an example, like there's frustrated owners for him. So like if there's any way that you can get like if you lowball a trade for him, then I think that there is a possibility that you can actually make it work with Kyle Pitts. But yeah, that's the three I'm looking into. I'm pretty sure there was at least one more, but I can't think of it on top of my head. But yeah, but as far as the bye weeks, like to me, the bye weeks is more so of a representation of how well that you guys drafted afterwards, because there's going to be a player or two that's going to be. There should be at least one or two players, at least one wide receiver, one running back that you're able to just plug and play whenever there's a situation like that, instead of over super heavy relying on the waiver wire. So I guess it really wasn't much about the bye week, since the bye week start next week. I guess we could talk about it a little bit more next week, but this was more so of a trying to figure out who to trade for the next couple of weeks that should be able to help you out. Manny, you said like 96 people. Do you want to make it 100?
You want me to give you another name?
Yeah, give me another name.
Garrett Wilson.
Is that a legit answer?
Oh yeah. Zach Wilson's first time back was last week. He has to mesh with his rookie receiver. Garrett Wilson's a stud. When they mesh and actually practice together, watch out for Garrett Wilson.
Garrett Wilson should be kind of fun.
Devin Singletary too is another good one.
Devin Singletary actually gotten a little bit better, and I think that's mainly because the Bills are giving him more attention as far as volume and things like that. But I think eventually James Cook is going to be okay. He's going to be okay, which kind of sucks for Zach Moss. How are we looking? 4th and
1 at like the 5-yard line. And would you kick Colts went down, kicked a field goal, so it's a touchdown to win or tie pretty much. So do you go for it on 4th and 1 and tie the game and give the Colts back the ball with 2:38, or go for it 4th and 1 and try to win the game?
Well, with the 4th and 1, I'm kind of trying to see it from there, but like 4th and 1, you're still able to they can still get a 4th down, right? It's not 4th and goal, it's 4th and 1.
4th and 1, yeah. So
he could technically still get a first down.
Yeah, but if they don't get it, the game's over. Because Colts went down and kicked a field goal. So it's either tie, go for it and potentially win, or not get it and lose.
I would go for it. Mike.
I just muted again.
Mike.
My bad.
Mute again.
And my kids are wilding out. My bad. Like I said, I'd go for it. Is what I was trying to say.
They went for it.
Did they get it?
They get it? Over.
Oh, it's over. They lost.
I think what I'm more upset about.
That was the right call, though. That was the right call. But I would have ran it, though. I wouldn't have threw it.
Exactly.
That's me.
I was about to say, yeah, that was the right call, but why not run it? Do you not trust? Okay, Melvin Gordon probably not. But do you trust? Latavius Murray? Do you trust at least Latavius Murray? I think there was a stat where he's
inactive.
Oh, he's inactive?
I might have
so it had to have been Mike Boone. Okay.
I might have ran a quarterback sneak. I mean, you try to get in there quick, man. Get a yard.
That wasn't a bad throw as far as who to give it to, because that's Sutton. Yeah, that wasn't bad.
You got to lead him.
He could have.
You got to lead him. You got to lead him a little bit more than that. I mean, it was a contested catch. That's rough. Yeah, that's tough, man.
That game sucked. 12-9.
The game was trash.
Not a single. You know what? In Vegas, they do have bets where they say, who's going to score the first touchdown, and then one of the answers sometimes is there's going to be no touchdown scored. That would have won tonight.
Wait, time out.
You picked them to win that division, right, Will?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Didn't you pick them to win that division?
Still not giving up.
You picked them to win that division, right?
Wait, who did you say wasn't going to win the division?
Yeah, how are they doing?
As he looks on his phone.
No, I know who it is.
Like, who did you choose? And then he just looks at his phone like this. No, I chose. What, as a hot take? As in a hot take that is specifically something that can happen, but likely is not going to happen? Specifically, yes. Kansas City Chiefs. That's who I picked.
that you're gonna have. You said they're gonna come in last. Not. You said last.
I said they could be the worst. I'm not saying they will.
No,
there's a difference. You want me to play it back?
It seemed like you're pretty much
confident that he was going to say that, and you even bet about a dance that
you were kind of insinuating that it was going to be them in last. And right now, I don't know, man. They're in first.
Unfortunately, this guy right here and this guy right here do not know the definition of a hot take.
But I'm gonna tell you one thing right now. Denver. Not only will they not win the division, I'm sorry, Will, they're going to finish last because they just can't score, man, like, at all. And the Raiders can at least score. Chargers can score. Kansas City can score. Denver can't score. They play next Monday night, right? Isn't it next Monday night? Raiders
Denver,
or is it Sunday night? I think it might be Sunday night. I think it's Las Vegas and is it Las Vegas and Denver?
I'm not sure.
I think it's Las Vegas and
Denver. That was
Denver.
last week, wasn't it?
Did Las Vegas play Denver last week? Maybe. Oh no, Las Vegas plays Kansas City this Sunday night.
And Chargers Denver.
Yeah, Las Vegas plays Kansas City this Sunday night. My bad.
Hey, Will. Want to know what my hot take was? Let me refresh your memory. Remember this one?
I was fine with the Vikings.
I picked Green Bay, so we're right there.
I was fine with the Vikings. I don't see the problem with that.
Green Bay's right there. My hot take that I had, I had Buffalo, but I told you guys I liked Miami, but now Tua's hurt, so damn.
So Mike's hot take's right, almost right.
Mm.
My hot take's doing really well. Will,
how are my hot takes? Is that what your question is? I don't know. Let's ask this one right there. Let's ask about that one. Act like it then. There it is.
Hey man,
let's talk. Okay,
we're right there. We'll see what happens with that in a week. Next weekend we'll figure that out.
This was a fun way to end the show. We're just shooting shit at each other right now. So it's all in love.
You got the same record as the Seahawks. I don't want to hear it.
What was that? What about the Seahawks?
You have the same record as the Seattle Geno Smith Seahawks.
The Seattle Geno Smith.
Yeah.
Everyone in that division has the same. That's the same thing.
Well, how does that make you feel?
Fine, because according to that, we're in first place, so it doesn't matter.
I would feel bad if I had the same record as
we're able to beat people. We're able to beat our opponents in our division, and as long as we can do that, we take it. So there you go. That's how I feel.
I will admit that I thought Seattle was going to be trash, and like Geno's out there doing his thing. So
Geno's doing his thing, but I still believe that they're going to be trash.
That's who you can't beat.
You guys just lost to that team, the one I just saw on TV. Looking, oh man,
yeah, sure did. Oh
man.
No, but it still says first in NFC West.
You're tied.
Hey, you know what?
Doesn't matter how we get there.
I'm gonna actually take it easy on the 49ers this week because they did win me my pool at work last week. I needed them to beat the Rams. They beat the Rams, so I salute the 49ers and the city of San Francisco.
So Manny, you're pretty much doing all this because they made you upset. Is that what it is?
No, I just like to mess with you.
Who hurt you?
And it's close to my bedtime. I'm getting really tired, so I get very.
Well, since it's close to bedtime, let's just go ahead and mute you right there. All right, so that's going to be the end of our show. I love this power. That's going to be the end of our show. Not sure if we're going to 100% do this on a podcast, but if you are doing it on a podcast, go ahead and follow us on our Instagram, Nxt Up Fantasy, Nxt Up Fantasy. And also, if you're on YouTube, you just so happen to see, hey, why not give it a shot? Why not give it a try to see what they actually look like in person? Go ahead and click like, subscribe, turn on the notifications whenever pretty much we're on. And then from there, you'll get to see how miserable we all look every single week. So that being said, for the Nxt Up Fantasy Show, I'm Will. For Mike, what up, what up?
No, I'm not muted. I'm just like messing with you guys.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
I'm sure looking at the mic like, wait a minute.
It was all love, guys. It was cool. I'm feeling good, feeling great. Good seeing you guys. I want everybody to have a safe week. Keep logging in and tuning into the show. Help support us. We appreciate all the support. And let's hope that the Cowboys and the Niners can have a good week this week.
Let's go. For Manny B. and Manny, what up, what up?
No, I'm just messing. I thought you were going to be like, oh, I'm frozen.
I see what everyone's doing.
The TV was going on in the background, so I couldn't be frozen.
Exactly.
Well, it was nice. This episode was awesome. It's kind of like our Friday episodes. It was nice talking to you guys, and we'll talk next week. Hopefully, in your listening, that you have a better record than Will does on one of his fantasy leagues. And we'll keep pushing from there. We'll get you to your playoffs. It's fine. It's fine being 0-4 because you could get to the playoffs still. There's 17 weeks. Right, Will?
You're really like what's the word I'm looking for? You're really supporting yourself on this one, Mr. 0-4. I got wins. I got hella wins. Anyway, this is Will. Have a good night. Have a good morning. Have a good evening. Whenever you guys are watching and listening to this, you have a good night and stay safe and enjoy. Deuces.